All right, let's see here. Hello, hello. Wow, there's already, what, 20 people? 28 people in here? Holy cow. Hello. Oh, hey, Millie, I see you. Hi, Millie. How are you tonight? Dylan, hello. Ron, hello. Martin, uh-oh, I forgot something. 1 second. Never fails. No matter how much I try to be prepared for these live streams, I always forget one thing. Hello, hello, hello. The cutting room floor. Welcome back. Duncan, hello. Random, hello. Another random. Hello. The Sam is here. Yes, the Sam is here. I am the Sam. I am shaken. How does 007 do it? Shaken, not stood. 611, hello. I see you. The meme dog, hello. Night Rider. Welcome back. What time is it over in Turkey? Billy, hello. Finny, hi Sam. Is it possible you could make a video on the Star Princess Fire? I'm pretty sure we've already got that one on the list. I'm going to try to do that. Let's see. The randoms, cutting room floor. How goes your day? Not too bad. Getting ready to head off to LA. I'm going to LA before long and just getting ready for that. And luckily there was, well, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to go see the Queen Mary, but I am going to go and see the outside of the ship and everything. So that's at least I'll get to see the ship. Olivia, $5 first super chat of the night. Thank you so much. Hey, always wanted to know why the Olympic didn't have an open promenade deck like the Titanic. Okay, so in case you didn't know what she's talking about, so the Titanic has this enclosed promenade right here. The Olympic didn't. It has an open promenade, as you can see here, so you can compare the two ships. And basically, the big reason that is that the passengers on the Olympic didn't use it much. They didn't care for it. So the White Star Line decided to enclose it on the Titanic, and then they used it for a bunch of other things, like a private cafe, Cafe Parisien. That's in the enclosed promenade. They also added a few more first-class staterooms and private promenades. So technically speaking, the Olympic and the Titanic are basically the exact same size, like the exact same length and weight. But the biggest difference is weight. So the Titanic is heavier than the Olympic, which is why the Titanic was technically the biggest ship in the world, even though that and the Olympic were the same size. Couple more super chats. Awesome, awesome. Oh, yep. Oh, yeah, we definitely need slow mode while the chat was going nuts. Okay, hang on a second. I completely forgot to turn on slow mode. And boom, slow mode is activated. There we go. Yeah, I see that. Slow mode. Slow mode on. Yes, yes, yes. We got it. We didn't need it for a bit, though. Let me see here. Got that one. Uncover the News 5. Thank you so much. Video idea. Roman Emperor Calgia, I know I'm not saying that right, Nemi ships recovered from the lake bed in 1929. The ships were destroyed by a fire in World War II. And oh, I've heard about that. I didn't know that that's what they were called. Like, I didn't know the actual history of it. I know that they found these ancient ships and they put them in a museum and they were destroyed during bombings during the Second World War. I am definitely adding that. That was Uncover the News. Thank you so much. I'm going to definitely put that on the list. Ships destroyed in museum, World War II. Thank you for that, and thank you for the super chat. Great, great idea. Donald, $5. Thank you so much. Now that you have done all three sister ships, which one do you think has the most interesting story? Well, I haven't done a full video on the complete timeline of Britannic, but I've just done the sinking of Britannic. But honestly, they're all interesting for their own reasons. Thank you for the $5, Donald. But as far as Titanic will always be the closest ship to my heart. But Olympics got a very interesting story just because of everything the ship went through. And so does the Britannic. I mean, the Britannic's got its own interesting story, based on what happened to it. So all three ships are interesting in their own different ways. But Titanic will always be my favorite ship. And I think it's just interesting because, it's just so rare. The ship went down so slowly that there's time for all this stuff to happen. And the Titanic is definitely a very odd duck when it comes to how the ship went down and everything. So, but yeah, I think Titanic is still my favorite. Okay, for some reason, I don't think this guy's real. Somebody says, Logan Paul, love you, man. Keep it up, bro. I highly doubt you're actually Logan Paul, but thank you. Let's see. Mr. Lusitania, do a timeline of me. Sorry for the caps. The Lusitania is definitely something I'm going to do another more detailed video on. I love Cause 5. Thank you so much. Can't wait for the Exxon Velez. You are awesome. Will always be a subscriber. Thank you so much. Was that oil? Was that oil tanker that blew up? Hang on. I have to refresh my memory. Exxon Velez. VLDEZ oil spill. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was that oil spill. The oil spill, March 24th, 1989. Man, look at this. Holy cow. Like, I'm looking at these pictures. I've never even looked at some of these. Okay, this is pretty intense. I don't know if you guys would want to look at this picture, but be warned. I just typed in the oil spill on Google, and I found this picture of a poor whale. So be warned if you want to click on that and take a look at it. But that poor animal, can you imagine that? Let's see. Porsche, can you do a video on the Queen Mary 2? Absolutely. I'm going to do a video on the Queen Mary and the Queen Mary 2. Caleb 5, thank you so much. Hey, Sam, I have another American Civil War suggestion, and it's closer to home for me. The battle and surrender of, I know I'm not going to say that right, Appomattox, Virginia. Okay, I'll take a look into it real quick. Let me add that to the list. Civil War battle. I know I did not say that right. Got it. Okay, I will take a look into that. Civil War history is not exactly something that I know a lot about, with the exception of the Hunley, but I'll take a look at it. Thank you so much, Caleb. The cutting room floor, $2. Weight being equal, what Olympic ship would be the fastest? I mean, honestly, they all had the exact same engines, and the weight differences were minimal. So, I mean, honestly, I'd say they'd all be about the same. I mean, if you really want to have all three ships beside each other at the very beginning of their lives, maybe the Olympic, but that's a guess. I'd have to look more into the engines and stuff like that to judge that. Let's see here. Duncan, oh my gosh, that picture is brutal. Let's see. Blinding. Hey, Sam, can you do a video on the Carpathia? You know, it's crazy that I have not done a video on the Carpathia yet, but that is definitely something I am definitely going to do. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I need to do a story on the Carpathia, like the role of the Carpathia on the night the Titanic sank. Definitely something I need to do, especially with that whole green light image that Philip from Titanic Animations helped me make. So I'll definitely get to it. Let's see here. Thorny, what about the Titanic ship that will set sail in 2022? What are your opinions about the Titanic 2? I've talked about that before, and I'm very skeptical if it'll ever be built. But here's the thing. It's not really teaching us anything new about the disaster. And what you have to remember is the Titanic is a dinghy compared to modern day ships. It's very small. So the only reason they would even build a Titanic 2 is just to capitalize on the name Titanic. And I'm not a fan of that, because you have to remember it's a tragedy, and it's not teaching us anything about the disaster, you know? Now, if they built it like a museum or a memorial or something like that, you know, and it didn't sail and it could tell the story, then I'd be okay with it. But I don't like the idea. I really don't like the idea. Gordon 5, thank you so much. Sam, did you see the pics from Cape Hatters on Discord pinned on the homepage? Probably not. Unless you DM'd them to me directly, I probably didn't see it, because it's very hit or miss. If you catch me on Discord, I either show up or I'm not there. You know, it's hit or miss if you catch me or not. So if I'm not talking and I'm not active in the chat, assume I'm not there, and I probably didn't see it. So if you want me to see something, DM it to me, or wait until I'm active and just send me a message. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Jim, hi, Sam. What's the Titanic? What's the Titanic? Huh. Okay, so we've got a guy here named Jim who doesn't know what the Titanic is. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to give you the quick and abbreviated version. On April 14th, 1912, at 11:40 p.m., RMS Titanic, the world's biggest ship, struck an iceberg on the starboard side below the waterline, breaching 6 of her 16 watertight compartments and causing the ship to begin to rapidly flood. There we go. How's that for my... I'm being silly there. That actually happened during a class when I was in high school. There was a guy, my teacher brought up the Titanic, okay? He brought up she brought up the Titanic. And she was at the front of the class, and she was on the board. She's like, okay, class, what ship is this? And like, everybody's like, Titanic. And she's like, very good, class. What can you all tell me about Titanic? She points at one guy and goes, what can you tell me about the ship? And he goes, it sank. And she went, very good. Anybody else? And I went, And then one of my best friends, her name was Lisa. She was sitting beside me and she just looked at me, like she turned her head and looked at me and went, "Don't do it. Don't do it." And then I just stood up and I basically did what I just did. RMS Titanic struck an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. on April 14th, 1912, 11:40. Oh, it was so funny. The teacher just like had a marker and she was just like, it was so funny. It was so funny. I was being goofy. And we got some more super chats while I was yakking. Okay, Lolo5, thank you so much. Hi, Sam. Can you do a video about America's Titanic, the SS Pulaski? Thanks and keep up the good work. I have never heard of that. Let me take a look here. America's Titanic. If it was America's Titanic, you think I would have heard of it, but I've never heard of this at all. Let's take a look here. When you ask me about America's Titanic, I would probably think the Arizona. Even though it's not a passenger ship, it was still a horrible tragedy, and it was America. Steamship Pulaski disaster was a term given on June 14th, 1838, aboard an American steamship Pulaski, which caused her to sink 30 miles off the coast of North Carolina with a loss of 2/3 of her passengers and crew. About 59 survived. 120. Wow, I have never heard of this. Holy cow. Never heard of this at all. Okay, that's definitely going on the list. Thank you so much for that. Who was that? Lola? Thank you so much. How have I never heard of that? Born and raised in America, and I've never heard of that ever. I didn't even learn about that in school. Holy cow. Thank you so much. Donald5, thank you so much. Do you think they should have made Olympic into a memorial considering how close it was to the Titanic? Just remember that I talked about that in my video. It was the time period, you know, like if it was still the 1920s, you know, and the economy was booming, people had money, people had jobs, I do not doubt for a second that the Olympic would have been preserved. But it was just the time period, you know, no one had money. People were struggling, you know, and it does seem like Cunard White Star wanted to save the Olympic, you know, because they were thinking about using it for summer cruises, turning it into a floating hotel. And it's like I've talked about in my, holy cow. No, are you kidding me? I cannot have nice things. I cannot have nice. I cannot believe I just did that. No, my stern, the bridge broke. Then the navigation, yeah, the bridge right here. So I just noticed that popped off, and I have no clue where it went. I don't know how that happened, but apparently it happened. Dang it. Dang it, my Olympics got some damage. Oh, well. I completely just noticed that live on stream. Oh, well. I mean, anytime I handle models like this that are not meant to be handled, this is what happens. But hey, at least it wasn't a tea on my laptop. There was a great, in case you're new here, there was a great tea flood during the live stream where a cup of tea spilled onto my computer and breached all 16 watertight compartments. The ship did not survive, or the computer did not survive. And then all of a sudden, I just got off of the whole question. So where was I? Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing, Donald. You just have to think about the fact that think about the time period. You know, no one had any money, and think about how much relief scrapping the Olympic brought to the people in Juro. You know, I mean, 100,000 people that now had enough work for 18 months, and they were going to be able to use that work to keep food on the table for their families. I mean, as big of a ship historian as I am, if I lived at the time, I would probably vote to scrap the Olympic just because of the time period. But if the world was booming, economy was fine and everything, of course I'd want to save her. I want to treat the Olympic just like they treat the Queen Mary. Although maybe, hopefully, they treat the Queen Mary better. Or no, they treat the Olympic better than the Queen Mary. So, Jack5, thank you so much. Why did the walls inside the watertight compartments aboard Olympic class not extend all the way to the roof? Well, Jack, that's a good question. I actually had to look that up once because somebody asked me that before and I wasn't sure. But it has to do with physics. So whenever you have a ship like Titanic, okay? So Titanic was designed to stay afloat with the first 4 watertight compartments breached, okay? So if that happened, the water would flood in the watertight compartments and the ship's bow would just go down so low and then stop. You see, the thing is, water will not flow higher inside a ship than the water line is on the outside. So with 4 compartments breached, the bow wouldn't go down low enough in the water that the water would be able to spill over the tops of the bulkheads. With 4 compartments breached, the ship would go down so low, the water would reach the top of the bulkheads, but then the water inside the ship would match the same height as the water on the outside. So then at that point, the water would stop flowing and the ship would stop sinking. But with more than 4 compartments breached, with 5 or 6, then the water could just spill over the tops of the bulkheads and go back and back and back and back. Water will not flow higher inside a ship than the bow is low in the water. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Water, if the ship is like this in the water and my finger's the water line, water can't be up here. It'll be right here. You see what I'm saying? I hope I'm explaining that right. And of course, while I'm explaining that, here come more super chats. All right. Let me see here. Donald Jack, that was that one. Good question, Jack. Electro 5. Electro. Isn't that a Pokemon? I feel like that was a Pokemon or something. I'm like, where do I know that name? Have you heard of the Swedish warship, the Vasa, which sank in 1628 immediately after her maiden voyage and began due to severe instability? I think so. Hang on a second. The Vasa, Swedish Vasa ship. Wasn't this a ship that the Swedish Vasa was a warship built between 1620 and it sunk roughly after sailing roughly 1,300 meters on her maiden voyage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this the ship where the king or whatever wanted a ship so big and have it have so many guns that he ignored the advice of of the people who were designing it and said, more guns, bigger, bigger, bigger. And he ignored it, and then the ship just rolled over at the first gust of wind because it was so unstable. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that's what that was, and that would make an incredible video. Vasa ship. Okay, I'm going to put that on the list real quick, but that's a good one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. Am I thinking of the right thing, guys? Hi, Leech. Hey, Sam, your favorite Jap here. How are you? I'm doing good, Leech. How are you? Isaac 5, thank you so much. Titanic sails iceberg. I'm going to put some dirt in. Oh, seriously. There was a, Isaac, you made me think of a Saturday Night Live skit where the iceberg was talking about how he sank the Titanic. That's what you made me think of right there. Whoa. Caleb 20, thank you so much. Hey, did you know that there was a submarine in the American Revolution called the Turtle? It didn't have a very successful military history, but it's incredible that we had submarines that far back in history. I have heard of it, but, excuse me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Caleb, thank you so much for the 20. But I don't think, yes, that was the one. Yes, that was the one. Okay. Yes, yeah. Yes, okay. So that was it. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't think the turtle could dive. I thought that it kind of just bobbed on the surface and then somebody hit underneath. I didn't think it could actually go underwater. It was technically a submarine, but it couldn't dive and go up. And it was kind of wasn't it to sneak into a harbor or something? I didn't think it was actually used for anything military, maybe some scouting missions or something. But like I said, my knowledge on the turtle is extremely limited. I just know of them. But yeah, it was pretty crazy that we had them even back then. I mean, for the 1700s, that's incredible. I think the Hunley is incredible for it being the 1800s. Philip, yes, I have heard of that. Sam, have you heard the German U-boat that was sunk by its own toilet? Yes, I have heard of that. I have absolutely heard of that. But yeah, I have heard of it. And people honestly do not give our ancestors enough credit. I mean, look at the ancient Egyptians. I mean, shoot, they had batteries. And I mean, look at how they built the pyramids and stuff like that. Honestly, our ancestors were incredibly smart. Incredibly smart. And think about what they could do with less than half of the technology that we have now. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Thank you so much, Caleb. That's awesome. Let's see. Xavier. Hi, Sam. I hope you see this. Hi, Xavier. Can you please do a timeline series on the Napoleon Wars? Maybe eventually when I get to the whole wars thing. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. That's not really what my channel is about. Maybe I'll do a passing episode on it at some point, like I did Pompeii, but I really try to stick to maritime and ocean liner history, like the Hunley and all that stuff. I feel like that's a little bit off of my target path. But like I said, if there's a certain ship or something during the Napoleon Wars or something like that, we can jump into that. But I like to stick more to maritime history. And on occasion, I may jump into other topics, but not really something I do a full series on. Let's see. Jennifer, what is the fastest ship in the world at the moment? As far as what ship currently is the fastest, and I guess it depends on what you mean by ship. Do you mean a speedboat, a big ship, an ocean liner? But as far as I know, I'm not sure. But still, as far as the Blue Ribbon is concerned, the ship that still holds that title is the SS United States, which is currently docked up in Philadelphia and rusting. rusting and rotting away because they're not taking care of it. But as far as what ship is the fastest in the world at this time period, I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. Let's see here. Olivia, 2. Thank you so much. Wait, did I miss something? No. Let's see here. Do you know why the bridge is called the bridge? I've actually never thought about that before in my life. Hang on. Why is a ship's bridge called a bridge? I'm going to Google that real quick because I never even thought of that. Wait a minute. What? Steam engines replaced sails on board ships with the sail paddles taking its place. They were steered via rudder wheel. For this purpose, a walkway was constructed on this flag. Literal bridge. Oh, so it used to be an actual bridge. A walkway was constructed to raise a platform connecting 2 paddles, serving a literal bridge. Huh. So it looks like old ships had a bridge so you could steer the ship. So they just kept the name bridge. Interesting. I never thought about that before in my life. How have I never thought about that? Great question, by the way. And thank you for the $2. But yeah, that's what it looks like. And if people can give more detail in the chat. But yeah, it seems like there was a navigation bridge or like an area on the ship that resembled a bridge. And that's where they steered it. So it got the name bridge. Interesting. Thank you for the 2. I'm assuming this is Leachy again. You should do a vid on the Waverley, and I'm good. Yeah, it is Leachy. What's the Waverley? Waverley. Hang on. Waverley. What is Waverley? Ship, I'm guessing. Let's see. Waverley ship is a last seagoing passenger carrying paddle. Wait, is the last seagoing passenger carrying paddle steamer in the world? Really? Built in 1946. Interesting. I've never heard of this. Okay, that's going on the list, Leach. Thank you so much, man. Great. I've never heard of this at all. I know about that, what do they call it? The Shield Hall? The Shield Hall, that steamship they have in Southampton. I've heard of it, but let's see here. Gordon, 5, thank you so much. You need to do Yacht America, one of only 3 U.S. naval ships to be commissioned in the Civil War, World War I, and World War II. The Yacht America? Seriously? It was used in all 3? Yacht America. Yacht America was a 19th century racing yacht. I don't think that's right. The Yacht America. I don't think you're talking about a racing yacht. Yacht America Civil War. Let's try that. Let's see if that pulls it up. America Yacht Wikipedia sold the ship to the Confederate States of America in the same year used for a blockade. Okay, I don't know if this is it or not, but I'd have to do some. No, it was scrapped. Wait, this might be it. Scrapped in 1945. Okay, I'm going to look into this a little bit more. I think I found it. I'm going to post a link to what I just found in the chat, and you can tell me if this is the right thing or not. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. Very, very interesting. Boom, there we go. And notes, and put that on the list. Boom, got it. Boom, boom, boom. Hiya. Okay, hacha. Boom, boom. Thank you so much, Gordon. That's awesome. I didn't even know about that. Caleb, $10 again. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hey, do you think you will make a video on John Paul Jones? He was a naval captain during the American Revolution and managed to deal so much hurt to the British colonies on the British home island. Huh. Never heard of him. John Paul Jones. Okay. I don't know if I'll get to that, but still, it's worthy of the list. John Paul Jones, Revolutionary War. Got it. Okay. Wow. Keep them coming, guys. Keep these ideas coming. That's definitely an interesting one. I don't know a ton about the Revolutionary War. I wish I knew more about it, but I know the big stuff like Paul Revere and George Washington and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll take a look into it, Caleb. Thank you so much for the 10. Let's see here. The cutting room floor. Best looking non-Olympic class ship and why it is the Oceanic. Okay, I'm pretty sure you're a little bit biased towards that particular vessel, but if you want to know what I think is the most beautiful non-Olympic class ship, 1 second. Be right back. Be right back. Can you guys still hear me? Hello. Right here. This girl right here. This is my favorite non-Olympic class ship. I think this ship is a beauty. This is my this is probably my favorite non-Olympic class ship right here, just because I have my own basic history to the ship, Queen Mary, good old girl. Queen Mary. Okay, guys, I've got a question for you. I've got a challenge. What was the Queen Mary's hull number? Let's see if anybody gets it right. What was the Queen Mary's hull number? Did I get a question? Lychee, look up the Queen Mary and Hawaka Maru as well. All right, I will. What was the Queen Mary's hull number? 534, 534. Boom! Agent is the winner. He wins 534. Congratulations. Millie, I see you there. Master. Wow, 134. That's not right. Man, you guys are smart. You guys are smart. Would you guys like to do a Titanic questionnaire challenge? Would you guys like to do a question from the Titanic? I asked you a question. You guys try to answer. Grand Hampa 10. Thank you so much. Hello, Sam. What made the SS United States so much faster than other ocean liners? 38 knots in sea trials is insane. Also, any planned content on the Queen Elizabeth and its fire capsized in Hong Kong Harbor? Absolutely. I'm definitely going to do a video on the Queen Elizabeth and talk about all that. And as far as why the SS United States was so fast, I'm not an expert on the SS United States. But I know that they built it, they built her for speed and everything like that. And I believe the designer of the SS United States, like the reason it had such a unique art style or design style was I think the ship was completely flame retardant. Like, I don't think there was anything on board the ship that could burn. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe it was the United States that had nothing inside of it that could burn, period. And I'm assuming it was so fast because they built it that way. They built it to take the blue ribbon and just be one of the fastest ships in the world. That's my guess. I'd have to look into it a little bit more, though. But listen, the SS United States is a beautiful, beautiful ship. And I've heard the cutting room floor, no wood except the piano. Okay, cool. But yeah, I've heard that the ship was so fast. What was its record across the Atlantic? Wasn't it like 3 days or something like that? But I've heard it was so fast that as it sliced through the water at the very front of the ship, it was like a pressure washer hitting the hull, and it was peeling the paint away because it would sail through the water so fast. Not the Queen Mary of the United States. Tell you one thing, I got to go out there and see that ship someday. I have to go see it, and considering it's not that far from me here in West Virginia. Let's see here. Grand Hampa got that one, and Caleb 5, thank you so much. Do you know the least known Benedict Arnold and the biggest traitor in the American Revolution that kind of hurt the Americans? Do I know of Benedict Arnold? I've heard the name, but I'm not an expert in the Revolutionary War at all. Let me see here. Benedict Arnold. I know I've heard that name before. Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold, traitor. Here we go. Why Benedict Arnold turned traitor against the Americans? Yeah, I've heard the name before, but I'm just not an expert in the Revolutionary War, and it's been so long since I looked into it. But I definitely do need to do some more research into that and learn more about it because it's definitely interesting. I remember that I had a teacher in college, and what made his class so interesting is he would get so mad about things that happened 300 years ago. And I mean, like, he's sitting there talking about the Revolutionary War, and like, he's sitting there and he's like, and then our stupid General Washington had these troops go here instead of here, and it messed everything up. And I'm like, dude, chill out. Like, chill out. Like just he got so passionate and so into it. Like, he wasn't ripping on Washington. He was just ripping on his decision for that one military battle. And I'm like, holy crap, this dude is like so passionate. It made me laugh at the time. I'm like, this guy was something else. That's all I've got to say. And he was a fun teacher. He definitely kept his classes interesting. He did this with the Civil War, and like he was talking about the Cold War, and there was some general. No, it wasn't the Cold War. It was the Korean War. Yeah, he was talking about, I don't remember the details, but he was talking about some U.S. general that wanted to nuke the North Koreans, when they were advancing and stuff like that. Like, he wanted to start blasting nukes at them. And like they had to restrain him. I forget the guy's name, but he was just like, fire nukes at North Korea. I'm like, wow. Like, he was talking all about that stuff. I mean, it's crazy. Very interesting stuff. I can't believe I remember all that, but his classes were definitely eventful. Okay, back to the questionnaires because I've been going off on a tangent. Let's see here. Let's see. San Jose, General MacArthur. Was that him? Was that who I'm talking about? Let's see. Nichols. Sam, have you heard of the SS Berkeley? It's an old paddle steamer from the 1800s. I believe so. Electro 5 again. Thank you. Hey, Sam, here's a neat video idea. You should make a video covering the water speed records disaster and how dangerously it really is to attempt one. Water speed records disaster. What the heck is that? Let's see. Water speed record. What is that? What is a water speed record? The world ultimate water speed record is, the water speed record is officially recognized as the fastest speed achieved by a waterborne vessel. The current record is 511 kilometers an hour or 318 miles per hour. What? This record is of one of two sportings of the most hazardous competitions. Two official attempts to beat the 1970 record resulted in the death of the driver. Despite this, several other teams are attempting this again. Holy cow, are you serious? General MacArthur, Douglas. Okay, everybody here knows that. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. But yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah, you're right. This would be incredibly dangerous. And I mean, can you just imagine if you're going that fast and then just one, like, let's say your boat's sliding and then like you've got like a fin or something and it touches the water. I mean, your boat would just get ripped to shreds by the G forces alone. And holy cow, that would be crazy dangerous. That definitely is something I definitely need to do a video on. Let's see, the water speed record. Water speed record. Awesome idea. Awesome idea, Electro. Let's see here. Philip, Sam, didn't the White Star Line merge with Cunard? Yes, Cunard White Star. Let's see. Estella, hello. Hello, Estella. Let's see here. YouTube. Hey, Sam, what happened to the aft grand staircase on the Titanic? And can you make a video about the MV Goya? I'm not sure what that is, but as far as the aft grand staircase, let me see here. It's basically right around this area of the ship, located in between the third and fourth funnel. And I would say a very large part of that got destroyed when the ship broke up because, wait, this is the Olympic. What am I doing? What am I doing? I was holding the Olympic. Good grief. That is unacceptable. I was holding the Olympic. This is the Titanic. This is the Titanic. It's inexcusable to mix up the Olympic and the Titanic. It's inexcusable. Okay, anyway. So basically what happened was when the Titanic broke in two and the stern settled back, big chunks of the ship's superstructure right around here broke off and fell off. And there's two big clumps of tower. They call them I believe they call them towers. Like they're these big chunks of metal on the seafloor. So basically all this stuff right around here broke up. Now, I don't know. I think it did go back as far as the aft grand staircase, although I'm not 100% certain. But a good chunk of this did break up, and that would have at least partially destroyed the aft grand staircase. And then after the stern went down, it was still very largely full of air at that point. So as the stern was going down, implosions began. And the stern, it's like you all see, if you compare the bow and the stern sections, it's night and day the condition. The stern imploded. You know, the pressure of the water outside just built up and then it crushed the stern like a tin can. So I'd say it all just got destroyed. You know what I mean? And we got another super chat from Jack again. Okay, thank you, Jack. 10. How would you do a video about Project? Why do you guys send me these words I can't pronounce? Habak. Habak one day. It was a British aircraft carrier designed with a 600-meter long flight deck. It was going to be built out of wood, pulp, and seriously? Let's take a look at this. I have never heard of this, and I know I did not say that name right. You guys are just giving me questions because you like to watch me try to pronounce stuff, don't you? Let's see here. The Habak ship. Let's see. That is not right. HMS was a plan by the British during the Second World War to construct an aircraft carrier out of a mixture of wood, pulp, and ice used against German U-boats in the mid-Atlantic, which were beyond the flight range of land-based ships at the time. Oh, so it was like, if I'm reading this right, it was basically going to be like a rush job. You know, it's like a rush job ship, basically. Am I reading this right? But yeah, I will definitely take a look more into this when I have time. I've never heard of this. And I'm definitely going to need to look up the pronunciation to make sure I get the wording right, because I know I'm not spelling that right. But yeah, thank you so much for that 10, Jack. I have never heard of that, and it looks very interesting. Hang on a second. Codename and spelling. Okay, early 19. Wow, there is a lot of information on this. There's blueprints, and I got to tell you guys, Wikipedia is like the best thing in the world. Wikipedia isn't perfect, but still, it gets you going. Let's see here. Agent M 1991, the year I was born. Can you do a video on the Sultana? It was a paddle steamer that sunk in April 1865 after a boiler explosion. I believe that one's already on the list. Death toll is unknown, but some numbers balloon it to 1,100. It was after Lincoln's death. I believe that one is on the list because I've heard that name so many times, so I'm sure we got to it. Captain Alex, hey Sam, any chance this stream is getting copywritten like the Olympic documentary? Honestly, oh, good grief. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, here's the deal. Like, copyright is such, like, as I said during my video, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, and the last thing I want to do is violate any copyright stuff. But I mean, a newsreel from the 1930s, I mean, come on. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I even called them, before I took the video down. I even tried to call them because they have a number. Like, if you would like to license something, please call this number. Called them. No one answered. I left a voicemail. Nothing. So I still, I put the video up that you all saw, me talking about it. And I also, I disputed it and everything. Now, let me put it like this, because sometimes I say the words copyright strike, but there's two different types of copyright things on YouTube. There's content ID claims, and then there's a copyright strike. What I got was a content ID claim. Now, if you get 3 copyright strikes, YouTube will delete your channel. 3 strikes and you're out. A content ID claim, you can get as many of those as you want, and it won't affect your channel. So when I got the content ID claim, I disputed it. And then this morning, they said no. That's why I made my little community post this morning. They said, no, the copyright strike stands, or the content ID claim stands. Then, if I dispute it again, and they say no again, then they can copyright strike my channel. So it's just not worth the risk. It's definitely not worth the risk to do that. When I was first getting started, if anybody's been a part of my channel for a long time, about 6 or 7 months ago, I was just chilling out, taking a night off, watching TV, and my phone starts going off. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. And I look, and I got hit with like 14 or 15 content ID claims in the span of 5 minutes. And it was Paramount Studios, over the clips of the Titanic movie that I had used, because that's what I used back then. I just used clips from the Titanic film. And I put the videos up. There was never any problems. And then it's just like the YouTube, it wasn't somebody from Paramount. It was YouTube's automated thing. It's like it automatically caught it and then just started flagging it like crazy. I mean, ugh. I got it solved, but it was a pain, and it was just a huge pain. And while I was talking, there was another 10. Costi 10, thank you so much. Before the 9/11 20-year anniversary, were you planning on doing a short video talking about the tax? If not, are you thinking about making a video about it? I've talked about that before, Costi, and thank you for the 10. The thing about 9/11 is it's still recent. I mean, I know it was 20 years ago, and that seems like a long time. But in the grand scheme of history, it's not that long ago. And 9/11 is very complicated. There's a lot of politics to it. There's a lot of, people today still feel the impact by it, so much so. And there's just so much to 9/11 that it's hard to make a video about it and I don't want to accidentally offend anybody, because a lot of people have opinions on it based on what views they have of things. And it's a tough thing to talk about. It's a very tough thing to talk about, and to do it right without accidentally offending someone, which is what I don't want to do. So that's just kind of why I try to stay away from 9/11, just because there's so much to it. It's not so simple as talking about a tragedy or an attack or a disaster. There's a lot to 9/11. I hope I'm making sense there. There's a lot to it. That's why I haven't talked about it. But it was a tragic and horrible day indeed. Absolutely horrible. Mako 5, thank you so much. Was there another one that I missed? No. Okay. Costi, thank you for the 10. Mako 5, can you make a video of the SS Noronic? Nobody knows what happened, but for some information about the SS Noronic. I feel like I've heard about that. SS Noronic. Yep, it's in my Google search history, so I have looked it up before. The SS Noronic was a cargo steamship built by Harland and Wolff for the White Star Line. A sister to the SS Bovik, she was built at the time the company wanted to increase its market share. Ghost ship, huh? Something happened to it? Excuse me. Yes, I have looked at this ship before. Says I last looked at this website in May. But the ship disappeared, if I'm remembering correctly. It just vanished. Brief career and disappearance. There's a lot of information on it, but does it say what happened? It didn't have a wireless. November 1892, the ship headed out. Cannon crossing. The ship was carrying enough coal for a round trip. And then she headed out to sea in heavy seas and was never seen again. Ooh. So she just sailed out and then just completely disappeared. I have to do some more research on it, but yes, it is definitely already on the list. I'll just need to look more into it. But I see There's a thumbnail here or a picture here of a ghost ship. The White Star Line's ghost ship. I like this picture. Oh, it's a YouTube video. Somebody's made a video about it. Oh, nice. I'll have to look into that. But hey, thank you so much for that, Mako, and I'll definitely get to that. Let's see. Xavier, why is slow mode on? A bunch of questions. Well, basically the reason slow mode is on is so I have time to read the questions because the chats are just coming in like crazy. Billy 5, thank you so much. You'd love Samuel Plimsoll, a British MV activist who aggressively adopted for ship safety in the 19th century. He helped outlaw coffin ships. Coffin ships. What are the? Let's see, coffin ships. I feel like I've heard of those, but I don't even know what they are. Coffin ships. A coffin ship was a ship that carried Irish immigrants escaping the Great Irish Famine. Let's see, coffin ships. Replica of the good coffin ship. What's so dangerous about these? I'm guessing there was something wrong with them. No one ever died on the good ships. Hang on. The coffin ship was a ship that carried Irish immigrants escaping from the Great Irish Famine, displaced. Coffin ships carrying immigrants crowded. Oh, okay, here we go. Coffin ships carrying immigrants crowded and disease-ridden with poor access to food and water. Okay, now the name makes sense. Resulted in the deaths of many people as they crossed the Atlantic and led to the 1847 North American typhus. Holy cow, are you serious? Led to the 1847 North American typhus epidemic. Are you, how am I not? Owners of the coffin ships provided as little food and water and living space as is legally possible if they obeyed the law at all. Coffin ships were the cheapest way to cross the Atlantic. Mortality rates of 30% or more were common. It was said that sharks could be seen following the ships because so many bodies were thrown overboard. Oh my gosh. How have I never, whoa. Dang on. Okay, this is getting a video topic. Oh my gosh, how have I never heard of this? Holy cow. Great video suggestion. Oh my gosh, I've never heard of these. How have I not heard of these? Dang on. Well, if you look at the picture here, if you, I'm going to post a picture of one, and the ship doesn't look bad. I mean, because like when I first Googled this, the ship itself doesn't. Oh, hi, Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Jordan, way to interrupt, man. We're sitting here talking about coffin ships. I've never heard of those. We're just sitting here talking about coffin ships and all that. And then all of a sudden you just jump in. Hey, Samuel. Jordan, way to make an entrance. If anybody here doesn't know who Jordan is, go check out the Titanic Animations channel. He's very funny on there. Samuel, Jordan, welcome to the stream. Okay, that was funny. All right, that distracted me for a moment. But yeah, the ship here doesn't look bad. Like I'm going to post a link to it. So that's a coffin ship apparently. And when I saw this, I'm like, it looks like a decent sailing ship, but man, I had no idea. Okay, that's definitely getting a video topic. That's definitely getting a video. Holy cow. Yes, absolutely. The timing, Jordan. Jordan is impeccable for his timing. Good grief, Jordan. Jordan, you're a character. I hope things are getting better out there in Australia, man. I've been worried about you. Listen, from what I've been hearing, Australia looks like I can't believe everything that's going on there. Okay, now let's get back to the super chat. $20 from the Vault 7 Dweller. Oh my gosh, is this a reference to Vault 7? Is this wasn't it 117? Or Vault 111? Hang on a second. Vault 117. I'm thinking of Fallout 3. Is this the vault from Fallout 3? I think that's what your name is. Fallout 3 is an amazing game. Hi there. Love the videos. Thanks so much. And thank you for the 20. I think you do a great job with sensitive subjects. One thing that may be interesting in your area is the fact that 9/11 had the largest maritime evacuation in history, between 500K and 1 million. The largest maritime evacuation. The largest maritime, really? I've never. Vault 101. Okay, that was Vault 101. Okay. But when you say Vault 7, what was Vault 7? I feel like Vault 7 is part of the Fallout lore, but I see that condensed Vault 101. Okay. But yeah, I feel like Vault 7 is part of the Fallout lore. But hang on a second. I want to look this up. 9/11 maritime evacuation. Because I'm not familiar with the whole maritime aspect of 9/11. Maritime response following the September 11th attacks. Following the September attacks in New York City, more than 500,000 people were unable to leave Lower Manhattan due to the closure of the bridges and tunnels. So people were stuck in New York City. Within minutes of the first plane hitting the tower, multiple fireboats from the New York City Fire Department rushed to the scene. The United States Coast Guard conducted a large convoy, emergency tugboats, and ferries to evacuate those stranded and injured victims. Oh, to get them off the island. Oh, holy cow. No, I did not know this. More than 150 different vessels and 600 sailors helped evacuate victims and delivered supplies in the days following the attacks. According to the mass evacuation of more than 500,000 civilians following the attacks moved more people from the island than the 1940 evacuation of Allied troops from France. Holy cow. No, I had no idea about that part. Dang on. Now, that is something that I think I could do a video about, the maritime response following 9/11. Talk about, man, I didn't know that they closed the bridges. Holy cow. So there were 500,000 people. There were people stuck on Manhattan. Dang on. Okay, hang on. 9/11. That's going on the list. 9/11, New York maritime evacuation. Got it. Thank you so much for that. Dang on. I didn't even know about that. Thank you so much for that, Vault 7 Dweller. Gordon 5, thank you so much. Yes, Sam, Yacht America won the America's Cup, then right into war. That's the right link. Ah, okay. Thank you so much, Gordon. Thank you for telling me. Jack 5, thank you so much. Do you know a shipwreck was dug up during the construction of the New World Trade Center? What? What? Seriously? Hang on. Shipwreck discovered during World Trade Center. Seriously? Why would a shipwreck be discovered there? A wooden ship unearthed at the World Trade Center site. Seriously? Whoa, I actually just found a picture of it. And of course it wants me to subscribe before I continue reading. Good job, National Geographic. That makes me so mad. If you want to read an article on the National Geographic, they want you to create an email profile. Like the website pops up, you've got the article you want, and then it just says, please sign up an email for you to continue reading. That makes me so mad. Yes, I found it. And this website is blowing me up with ads. Holy cow. I mean, look, I get ads. I mean, I know that people need to make money, but I don't like it when websites absolutely fill up your entire display with ads and you have to look at one little corner to see what you're talking about. But yeah, I found the shipwreck you're talking about, and I didn't even know about this. I'll definitely look into it a little bit. But here, there's that. That's what I was reading to find the article on the shipwreck. Just be warned, the ads are absolutely ridiculous, and you have to read one little corner to see what you're trying to read, which I think is stupid. And when I see that, I close the websites immediately. I mean, you have to make money. I get it. That's what ads are for. It's how I make a living on YouTube. But I mean, don't blow people in the face with it. I mean, come on. I mean, that stuff gets on my nerves. I try to be respectful when it comes to advertisements and stuff like that, because you guys know that like YouTube, you can put more ads in videos. And if I ever do that, I always try to make it so it doesn't annoy people. So like if I have a video that's like 12 minutes long, I'll put one extra ad at like the 6-minute mark, and then that's it, or if I have a video like my Olympic documentary that I just put up, it's got 4 ad breaks, an at the beginning and then 3 more throughout the video, and I spaced it 30 or 40 minutes apart. So I try to be as least intrusive as possible when it comes to how I do ads, because ads are annoying. They're necessary. It's how people online make money, but it's annoying. They can be very annoying if they force your face with it, if you know what I mean. Lord, have you tried using an ad blocker? Yes, I have before. But if I never installed it on this computer, but here's the deal. I really like YouTube Premium because that's what I use, because YouTube Premium allows you to still support the content creator and not watch the ad, which I really like. And I try to not use it because I know that's how people make money, but you don't have to beat us over the head with it. That's why ad blocker exists, is because people got annoyed. Sam, you skipped over my donation. Oh, did you donate? Hang on a second. I see a super chat from Isaac. Oh, there it is. I'm so sorry. How did I miss that? 50 from Chista. All right, I got you. Thank you so much. I'm not sure what that translates to. I think that's about $5 or $10. But hey, thank you so much. I told a content creator, the professional, about the strike. He said it was ridiculous that someone could, the copyright claim, could strike over a 90-year-old clip. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. I don't, thank you for that. Sorry I missed it. But yeah, I really don't get why. I mean, look, if it's a Hollywood movie or a clip or something like that from a film, or shoot, if I just re-upload the clip raw and didn't have a documentary or anything on it and was just re-uploading old clips and trying to make money off it, I get the copyright strike under that claim. I mean, because I'm just re-uploading old footage that somebody else owns and trying to make money. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm making a history thing, you know. And I mean, I think there's a better way. I think there's a better way to handle it. It's a newsreel. It's a newsreel. It's not even. It's anyway. Isaac too. Thank you so much. Hey Sam, you should do more Titanic meme reactions. Thank you for that. I like to do that with my sister. You know, I like to make those videos when my sister's in town, and then we can kind of visit, and then we have fun making those videos. So we'll get to them eventually. It's just it's hit or miss if my sister's here because she's married and out in Arizona. So, or not Arizona, she's out in Ohio. Arizona is where I lived when I worked on the mine. Why did I say that? But yeah, so whenever she's around, we do those meme reviews. Lord, YouTube is weird. Is so weird with copyright. It is, and I get it. It's a fine line. I really do, because I mean, so, and with there being so much, I think I read that there's somewhere around 500 hours of content. Hang on. I read that there's somewhere around 500 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every hour. So, or every minute, I think. And it's just, there's no way that somebody can filter through all of that. But the automated copyright stuff, I'm a little bit more forgiving of it because it's just a computer program. And depending on what you're doing, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want you to copyright strike. So they don't want you to use big stuff that could take away from a big company. So here's the definition of copyright. The biggest thing is when you upload a video, are you taking money away from the copyright holder? That's the big thing. So when I upload a clip, is my clip taking money from the person who owns the copyright? Okay. Now, if I was to just upload that 1930s Olympic clip and just upload it and like not have my own thing on it and just say, hey, watch my video to get this clip, then yes, I think that copyright strike would be valid. But that's not what I did. And shoot, I don't even have it in my description that video is even in there. You know, I made a documentary film talking about the history of the Olympic, and then I just slid that little video in just because it was a cool novelty to the history of the Olympic. You don't go to my video to get that clip. I filled it up with all of my own original content, and that video made up a 40-second little reel of it. So, I mean, very small fraction of a 13-minute video. So I think that should be okay because I made it into something educational and I significantly transformed the video. So, but they didn't see it that way. So, I mean, it's a fine line, but still it's a 1930s clip. I mean, good grief. But the way movies and stuff work is like, it's like, I think with movies, you're allowed to use 10 seconds of footage. Anything more, you get copyright. Gary, copyright laws are screwy. Season 17 Bonza fell into the public domain years ago. Seriously? Oh, gosh. The Titanic. I love your videos and I'm subscribed. Thank you. Let's see. DJ, I get fed up with adverts. Epic, can you do a video about the Carpathia and how it sunk? I'm definitely going to do a video about the Carpathia. Do not worry about that. Okay, would you guys like to do a Titanic challenge? Like, I'll ask you guys a question about the Titanic, and you tell me if you guys know the answer to it. Would you guys like that? Would you guys like to do that kind of a questionnaire? Agent, another what-if video. What if the D-Deck gangway door was never opened? Would this delay the sinking for the Carpathia to arrive and would have allowed to rescue more passengers? Would the ship still float? If the D-Deck gangway door was closed, it would just delay the sinking a bit. You know, I don't think it would have saved the Titanic, and I don't think you're talking about that much longer of time, but I think it would have at least bought the ship at least a half hour, you know, because one open porthole window lets in so much water. Think about how much water that D-Deck gangway door let in. All right, so you guys want to do a questionnaire, huh? You guys want to do a questionnaire? All right, let's do it. Let's see here. What could be the first question? Okay, who here can name, there were 3 people in charge of designing the Olympic class of ocean liners. Name those 3. Who were the 3 men? And put it in one question so I can see it. To get the question right, you have to name all 3. Name all 3 men who were responsible for the design and construction of the Olympic class. Okay, there's Thomas Andrews, but there's 2 more. I see a lot of Thomas Andrews, but there's 2 more. Thomas Andrews was significant, but there's 2 more. I'm looking for all 3 in one question. Let's see. Boom! Astor's got it. Carlisle, Andrews, and Peary. You got it. Good job. Good job. Here they come. William Peary, Thomas Andrews, and Carlyle. I was looking for Carlyle. He is definitely the hardest one to know. Bruce Ismay did not have anything to do with the design of the ships. He ordered the ships, but he had nothing to do with it. Good job. All right, man. Look at you guys. Look at you. Oh, we got another super chat from Donald. Thank you so much. This is a joke, but more Larry and Curly. Okay, I'm not sure what you're referencing with the joke. I feel like I should, but I don't know what that is. But thank you for the 5. Let's see here. What else can I do? Okay, what was the name of the person who worked on the Olympic and the Titanic? And she also served on the Britannic when they all 3 sank. What was her name? What was the name of the lady who worked on the Olympic and Titanic during their accidents and was also on the Britannic? What was her name? What was her name? Boom, Joshua. Joshua's first. Violet Jessup, that nurse lady. Nice marathon. Good job, Violet Jessup. Good job. Man, look at you guys. You guys are smart. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I've got a hard one. I've got a very hard one for you guys. All right. What year was the Olympics Grand Staircase painted green? What year was the Olympics Grand Staircase painted green? My answer was delayed because of slow mode. Sure, aviation, I'm sure. What year was the Olympics Grand Staircase painted green? Let's see. Boom, 1933. I believe that's it. Hang on, let me double check. 1933, 1934. Hold on. What year? I cannot believe I forgot. Staircase. I thought it was 1934. Painted green. Let me see. Let me double check. The 1932, 1933 retrofit. Yeah. So 1932, 1933. That's it. 1934, 1929. Yeah, right around there. Yeah, I even had to double check because I had a mind blank moment. But yeah, if you got the early 1930s, I count it right. All right, let me see. Well, let's try one more and let's make it a hard one. What can I do? Oh, geez, this is. If I'm not thinking about it, then I'd have to really consider it. Okay, all right, I've got it. Which of the Titanic's crew members was at the helm of the ship when it struck the iceberg? Who was the member of the Titanic's crew who was at the ship's helm when it hit the iceberg? That'll be the last question, and then we're going to get back to answering your guys' questions. Who was the name of the Hitchens? Good job. Hitchens is what I was looking for. Great job, guys. Man, you guys are smart. All right, let's get back to answering questions. Chris, 10, thank you so much. Considering the Californian took 2 hours to arrive at the scene of the Titanic in the morning, would they have been able to do anything to save the Titanic's passengers? Okay, well, I didn't know it was that late. I mean, I knew the Californian arrived recently. But what I'd like to know, and that's a good question. Who did that question, by the way? Chris? The biggest thing to take away from that is what time did they turn on the radio and head over that way? And you also have to remember the Titanic did broadcast the wrong distress signal, or the wrong location in its distress signal. It was about 13 miles off. So the big thing is I'd have to double check is what were the conditions around the Californian when they were heading to the Titanic? Did they encounter that field ice? Were they delayed by that during daylight? So the biggest thing is if the Californian had turned and headed straight for the Titanic, how long would it have taken them to get there? Because they could clearly see the ship on the horizon, but you also have to remember the whole false horizon, the generating that optical mirage, that mirage effect. So maybe the Titanic was further away than the Californian thought, or what they thought. So that is an ultimate question, is how long would it have taken the Californian to reach the Titanic? If they had nothing in the way and they could proceed straight towards it, this is just a guess. This is just me pulling this off the top of my head. I have no evidence to back this up. But I'd say at least within an hour, maybe. But if there was ice and field ice and other stuff in the way, I'm not sure. Wasn't the Californian somewhere around 10 to 13 miles away, something like that? And it took if they could proceed right there, maybe within a half hour to an hour, because the Carpathia was about 58 miles away and it took it 4 hours to get there. So it all depends on the conditions, I'd say if they were able to head straight towards it immediately, they definitely could have, I think they could have made it there in time to help out. Let's see here. Maritime history. If Titanic reached 4 compartments, but on the port bow, would the heavy list due to the port list of the would it have heavily list? Oh, the list, the port. Huh. Maybe at first, but still, I think it would have a heavier list to port at first, but eventually the water would begin to equalize and even out within the hull. So I think maybe initially, so the ship had for those of you who don't know, the Titanic had a 2-degree list to port until she hit the iceberg on the starboard side. Then not long after the iceberg impact, the ship stabilized and then it began to list to starboard. But then as the water began to make its way more around the ship and spread out, the ship returned back to an even keel, and then she began listing to port again. Because water has an easier time flowing inside the Titanic's port side than the starboard. So to answer your question, Maritime, I think the ship would have had a heavier port list initially, but as the water got more evenly spread, I think the ship would have basically returned to the 2-degree list. That's my theory. That is my theory. Okay, guys, we've hit the 1 hour mark tonight, so I am going to start to wrap up the stream. I am going to take a couple of more questions for tonight, though. Let's see what else we can get before we wrap up for tonight. Mr. Lusitania, Titanic had open portholes on the D deck, by the way. What if the Titanic did not break, the portholes were closed? And what if the gangway door was closed? How long will the Titanic... like I said, I think the D-deck gangway door only bought the ship. I think it increased the sinking by 30 minutes. That's my guess. I don't think it would have been, it definitely wouldn't have saved the ship. Maybe at the most an hour. But what killed Titanic was the D-deck gangway door, but was also Scotland Road, because when that corridor started to flood, the water could bypass the watertight compartments and begin flooding. Like even if water was in the 6th compartment, water could already begin flooding deeper into like the 7th and 8th compartments. There'd already be some water in there. So that's the big thing. So maybe if the D-deck gangway door was closed, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I mean, it wouldn't be much. Let's see here. Excuse me. Ooh, got a burp tonight. Let's see. Duncan, we need to see Rosie. Saying, do you guys want to see Rosie again? Do you guys want to see Rosie? Nathaniel, Mary Celeste, that's going to be my next video. I'm going to try to make it, but I'm going to be pretty busy next week. So my uploading is probably going to be very limited next week. I'll probably only get 1 video up next week. But I will try to, I'm going to try to get Mary Celeste done in the next couple of days. Mako5, thank you so much. Can you do a video about the Sultana? It was so deadly that the steamboat was possibly more dangerous than the Titanic. It's on the list already, Mako. We're definitely going to get to that ship eventually. And somebody else has already asked about that. All right, let me see what Rosie's doing. If she's let me check. Hang on, I'll be right back. All right, you guys can see her. You guys, this is like a tradition with the live stream, isn't it? Just you guys want to see Rosie before I wrap up. Okay, here she is. She should be very quiet. Rosie, your fans want to see you. Rosie, say hi. There's 200 people watching. Rosie, your fans are here. Rosie. She had a big walk, so she's tired. All right, I'll rub your belly. Is that what you want? You want me to rub your belly? She's a mess. That's my mess right there. That's my doggy. Oh, that's Rosie. She is a mess. But it's so funny. While I'm working on videos or doing whatever, if I forget to take her for a walk, she tells me. She tells me. She'll sit right there by the back door and she'll be like, she'll do that until I take her for a walk. And then she'll also come and then start like wedging me. Like she'll stick her her nose in my pants and stuff like that, just try to get me to like, it's time for a walk. It's time for a walk. Do you guys want to see my studio before I go? Do you guys want me to show you guys my studio? I saw that question. Somebody wanted to see my studio before I go. You guys want to see where I make videos? I've showed it before. Do you guys want to see it? Let me know in the chat before I sign off for the night. Would you guys like to see my studio? Let's see, relatable. Let's see, Jaden, what would have happened if Britannic was successfully beached during the sinking? I'm sure they would have tried to save it. They would have patched the holes and everything. All right, okay. Just keep in mind, guys, if I show you my studio, it's also an attic. So, there's random stuff sitting up there. And, okay, I'll show you. That there's random stuff just sitting around up there. So, as you see this door, which looks like a closet, this is where my studio is. It's up these stairs, and they are the loudest stairs in the world. So yeah, nobody can sneak up on me while I'm working up here. But yeah, it's just a basic studio. Now, what I'm about to show you, I know you guys will have questions. So my brother lived out in Virginia, and he got sent to Georgia. So we had to take some stuff out of his apartment. And that basically means we had to clean out his furniture and bring it home because he was living at a company supplied housing in Atlanta. And all of his stuff is in my shed, except for one thing, because we didn't want it to get moldy. His bed. Yeah, so I have a random mattress up here because I didn't know where else to keep it. And I put it in my shed to get moldy. So yeah, I have a studio slash storage attic. Hang on a second. Let me get the big light on so you guys can actually see something. We'll use one of my studio lights. But I'm very basic. I'm a very basic guy. So let's do this. There you go. So yeah, that gives you a little bit of an overview of the room, and I have a lot of random miscellaneous stuff just sitting around. But right here is where I shoot, right here on this table, and I use my phone to make all my videos, and I just have this. It's a little tripod thing that holds my cell phone. I use my iPhone for everything. I'm telling you guys, you can really run a channel with basic stuff. Over here is my TV. So this is a new TV that I use in my background. It's a 43-inch 4K LG. Here's my Olympic decking. So this is a piece of the Olympics boat deck. This is the wood paneling from the Olympic second class lounge. I've got my Titanic hull, my piece of the Titanic's right there. Over here, and like I said, I just have stuff just sitting around. This is the original TV that I had. This is an original TV. Oh yeah, and anybody who knows me, I've been wanting to go to Japan for a while, and I've been trying to study up on my Japanese. So this is like a little work desk I use. And I've got books here to random bouncy ball for some reason. But yeah, I've got books on Japan here where I've been trying to learn the language, basic stuff, elementary courses in Japanese, you know, basic stuff like that. So been trying to learn a little bit of Japanese here and there. But yeah. So like I said, it's a very basic little mini studio. But Corvette, why did you switch TVs? Because I thought it'd be a little bit of a nicer to have a bigger background. Why did I turn that off? I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a bigger background. That's why I did it. Oh, okay. Got a question for you guys. Can you guys tell me what this is? See if anybody here is old enough to remember this boy. Can anybody remember this thing? Does anybody remember what this old boy is? This thing was like my favorite thing back in the day. I love that when I was a kid. Anybody know what that is? Question. Can you do a video about Poseidon? Maybe. Fictional ship. It's not an Xbox One. It's not Xbox One. It's the original Xbox One. It's a toaster, Xbox 360, Xbox, yeah. But yeah, and what other thing I'm going to do, eventually I bought this. I haven't finished assembling it yet, but it's a giant portable TV stand. So I'm going to mount this TV to this and put it behind the table. And then I'm going to make this kind of like a nicer display area so you can see some stuff, because I've got stuff kind of hidden behind things, so you can't really see everything in my videos. So I thought I'd mount the TV to this, and then that way you can see all the stuff on the back when I'm shooting. So D-Fox, what did I just come back to? Studio tour. That's what you just came back to. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And let me put this up. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream tonight. This was a ton of fun. I enjoyed doing this little studio tour, and stand by for the next video. Everybody who did super chats, thank you guys so much. Everybody with the regular questions and comments, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys next week at 7:30 p.m., just like always on Sunday. All right, everybody, you all stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night, everybody.